The FA Women's Super League is building to a thrilling conclusion, and at a football is at Kingsmeadow, where champions Chelsea will hope to keep themselves on course against Reading. Already this weekend, Arsenal a big win for them at Leicester to go back on top. Manchester United and Manchester City also successful in pursuit of the Champions League. So Arsenal currently 2 points clear of Chelsea, United 3 points clear of City in the Battle of Manchester, and Spurs losing ground following their defeat against Villa. And it was a very good week for Chelsea. 9-0 success at Leicester. Beth England, a player who has really rediscovered her form in recent weeks. And this a team now brimming with talent and confidence, and they know if they keep on winning, they will win the title. Sam Kerr has been in prime form in recent weeks, and they will be confident tonight of going back on top of the table. And it was a remarkable day in the East Midlands last week. Guro Reiten's free kick really setting the tone. The first of 4 goals in the opening 11 minutes. Sam Kerr with the second, Demi Lambourne with an excellent save, but Kerr making no mistake. Beth England then hammering in the third from Kerr's assist. And the 4th goal in the whirlwind start from Annick Neuven after England's shot was deflected in at close range. Chelsea were relentless. Reiten picking up England for her second and Chelsea's 5th. And just before half-time, Reiten got her second, may have been a cross, but it drifted in 6-0 at half-time. That was a WSL record. And just after the break, England and Kerr combining again to make it 7 if you're losing count. And we had to wait a long time for the final 2 goals in the game. And the next one, a very popular one, as Lauren James scored her first goal for the club following her move from Manchester United, and the Canadian Jessie Fleming rounding things off 9-0, and that was a statement of intent from the champions. So Chelsea 13 wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats. Sam Kerr with 14 goals in 15 games so far. They've won the title 4 times in 6 years, but of course they were denied the Champions League last season by Barcelona. Kelly Chambers is leading Reading to another mid-table finish in the Women's Super League. They had a purple patch either side of the winter break to suggest they could challenge in the top half, but it's currently 6 games without a win, and they are now back amongst those teams who are a long way clear of the relegation battle, but also equally distant from the race for the Champions League. And last week, all the drama came late at the Bescot Stadium against Aston Villa. Emily Eichelund was fouled by Mads Pacheco. Justin van Havermaet with a penalty to give Reading the lead as they look to end their long wait for a victory, but Villa denied them in the closing stages. Ramona Petzelberger scored a late winner with a far post header at Spurs today, and she came up with another one there to deny the Royals the victory. And Reading currently 8th in the table. They have the same number of points as they achieved in the entirety of the previous campaign. Natasha Dowie is their top scorer in, of course, a team which has really struggled for goals. And although they are safe again, they may be disappointed by their overall showing. Another good crowd here at Kingsmeadow this evening. Perfect conditions for football here in British summertime. And Chelsea know this is the time of year when they need to close in on the major honours. And 3 points here tonight would put them back on top once again. It was one of the bigger shocks of the Women's Super League season when Reading beat Chelsea back in December. Since then, Chelsea have been superb, barely conceding a goal, and they have overhauled Arsenal at the top of the table. And following the Gunners' 5-0 victory at Leicester earlier today, Emma Hayes' team know they need a win here tonight to go back on top as the games begin to run out. Reading, of course, have had their big highlight of the season in beating Chelsea. They found it difficult to strike up the necessary consistency to trouble the top teams. And while it's another campaign which has seen them some way from the battle for relegation, they come here tonight as real underdogs. If they can avoid defeat, it would be another major surprise. It seems some time since Chelsea were here at Kingsmeadow, and they've got some massive games coming up here in both the WSL and the FA Cup, when they will meet Arsenal in the semi-finals. And here come the two teams. Chelsea on the final stretch in the title race. Yet again, they know if they keep on winning, they will be the champions. But they also know that Reading sprung a real surprise in Berkshire back in December, and Emma Hayes will have her team well motivated for tonight's match. Anything less than 100% focus, and in a season full of shocks in the Women's Super League, Chelsea could be the victims of a surprise yet again. Plenty of experienced names back in the Chelsea side, and Emma Hayes is able to rotate and not lose the overall quality. Magdalena Eriksson comes back into the back four, so Jess Carter is pushed wider, and Canadian international Jessie Fleming returns behind Sam Kerr and Beth England. There is still no Fran Kirby or Pernilla Harder. Reading do not have such a wealth of resources. Faye Bryson and Emma Harries, alongside Rachel Rowe, all return, with Natasha Dowie and Sandra Trollsgaard dropping to the bench, and Justine van Hevermaet is unavailable this evening. Another big crowd has gathered at Kingsmeadow, and Chelsea really like it when there is an intimate, passionate atmosphere inside this stadium. It has willed them to so many big victories and so many trophies in recent years, and they need to recapture that sort of experience once again. Reading do have plenty of experience in their team, and players like Natasha Harding will really need to step up here tonight. Rachel Rowe is also back in the side to lead the attack, with Natasha Dowie on the bench. But Chelsea are the form team in the Women's Super League. Only one loss in 16 games. That includes 12 clean sheets. And since they were beaten by Reading, they've only conceded once in 8 games. And Guro Reiten, with 5 goals in her previous 9 appearances, the Norwegian international, is a major reason for that upturn in form, including the winner here against Manchester City in one of the crucial games in the run-in. But Reading have got players who could cause them problems. Deanne Rose, the Canadian international, scored the only goal back in December when Reading beat Chelsea. She's already won an Olympic gold medal this season, following her time with the Florida Gators in college soccer. And both teams take the knee before kick-off to highlight the ongoing drive for diversity and inclusivity in football and beyond. And it's Reading who get the game underway. They caused a massive upset back in December. Can they do something similar here and derail Chelsea's title challenge? Chelsea in all blue, and they will be attacking the goal away to our right, and they're doing that straight away. Fleming with the cross here, then it's diverted back by Harding into the arms of Maloney. Natasha Harding operating at the heart of a back three this evening. And that was a telling contribution right at the start of the game. Sam Kerr was waiting behind her, and Harding had to deal with it and did. Grace Maloney, one of the players who was promoted into the WSL with Reading back in 2015. And they are now established at this level. Here is Rowe running into Bright. And Chelsea will have the throw-in. And we always talk about the attacking talent for Chelsea, but Millie Bright's presence at the back is all important as Erin Cuthbert helps the referee, Emily Heaslip, with her communications. Chelsea have won the previous 4 games following that 0-0 draw here against Arsenal. Reading 6 games without a win, drawing 2 of those since their 2-1 success at Everton. Sakira Muskovic is continuing in the Chelsea goal, with Ann-Katrin Berger on the bench, although in all truth Chelsea did not really need a goalkeeper at the King Power Stadium last Sunday when they beat Leicester by 9-0. Carter. Now Bright. Sophie Ingle will just try and set the tempo. Eriksson. Wrighton with one of those characteristic bursts. And the cross in, looking for Wrighton. Carter waiting, but the cross is into the arms of Maloney. And she was looking for the quick release, but there was no option. But Chelsea again with their pace in the wide areas. Clever run from Wrighton to make the move inside and divert the ball across the face of goal. Woodham. And the ball forward was looking for Deanne Rose. Kelly Chambers basically is Reading Football Club. She was a former player who had to retire due to injury at the age of 26 and has had 2 spells as coach and is also the director of football, and has established her club at the top level over many years now, as Deanne Rose is caught by Millie Bright. Rose, a player who was drafted by North Carolina, but never made an appearance in the NWSL after a fine time with the Florida Gators. And Louis Sanders, the 4th official, is now sorting out Emily Heaslip's radio system. Bryson and Rose are over the free kick. Dan Carter of Brighton is the only opposition player to score here so far this season. Bryson playing it short, swung high into the penalty area, and it's claimed by Muskovic. Reading looking to cook something up with Chloe Peplow coming in late. Bright. Now Cuthbert. Eriksson has time, the Chelsea captain, but the pass was behind Wrighton. It was a remarkable victory for so many ways for Reading back in December. Scored in the 4th minute. And Emma Hayes' team had 77% possession, outshot Reading 34-4, had 10 corners to 3, and still lost 1-0. That was the first blank score sheet for Chelsea in 60 games, but they have had 2 since, against Brighton and Arsenal in 0-0 draws. But clean sheets have been their real strength this season. Nobody has had more, 12 in total. Peplow. Now Woodham. It's cut out by Bright. She was quickly closed down by Eichelund, and Rowe now will have to operate as the lone striker. It's important for Reading that she's not too isolated. Neuven. One of the scorers last week in that 4-goal burst in the opening 11 minutes. Kelly Chambers has been in charge of over 100 Reading games in the WSL. Only Emma Hayes has had such longevity with one single club. And Chambers has been beaten by Chelsea on 8 different occasions until that victory back in December. Fleming, it's over Kerr. Bryson should be able to clear, one of a number of players in the Reading team who were signed from Bristol City following their relegation. Good challenge by Deanna Cooper, the former Chelsea player. And she then clears, looking for Eichelund. Bright. Now Carter. And Reading are dropping very, very deep when Chelsea have the ball in this sort of area. Brighton. But it was cut out by Bryson. Emma Hayes did accuse Reading of parking the bus in the previous game, just setting out to defend their lead for almost the entirety of the game, but of course they did it. Harding's clearance. Ingle flicked on by Kerr, and Wrighton was almost in, but it's good defending once again. Quickly returned by Bright. Harding rising with the header. Now Eichelund. Harries was making the run forward. She does have pace. Now Cooper. And that's a good ball, Peplow. But here is Kerr. Bright. And it's won back by Reading. Rachel Rowe will use the ball very cleverly if given the opportunity. Bryson. And she's still going. Only Rose inside the area. The cross is in towards her. And Carter just ducks out. Rose is quick and she'll keep that ball in play. She's got support from Peplow. Rose will try and go herself. And in the end, Jess Carter is able to deal with the situation. But that's an early warning for her, the pace of Deanne Rose. Cuthbert, now Bright. And Carter just seeing the ball evade her grasp. It will be a throw into Reading. And when they have the ball in this sort of area, they've got to try and build some sort of pressure. Lily Woodham loops it in. It's Carter's header, and then the big boot from Ingle across her own penalty area. Chelsea will eventually clear. Here is Cuthbert onto Ingle. And now Eriksson. Closed down by Harries. Bright. Carter. Good challenge by Woodham. And Rose almost riding the challenge there of Bright. And if she can isolate Millie Bright in those sorts of areas, Reading may get some joy, and that's something which Emma Hayes will be aware of. Now England. Challenged by Harding. Wrighton. The clearance from Cooper. Bryson. Tash Harding's clearance. Here is Peplow. All the way back to Grace Maloney. Now Cooper. Reading beginning to knock the ball around here with some purpose. Harding, the captain of Wales, always such a clever player. And here is Icolun, 3 forward here. It's Long looking for Rose, headed away by Bright. Harries, Rowe in support, but it's quickly cleared downfield by Neuven. And having avoided the very early goal, Reading are now beginning to express themselves. There will be a Chelsea throw-in. A reminder of the situation at the top of the table. Arsenal winning today. 5-0 at Leicester. We will see those goals during half-time. So Chelsea are second. Both of the Manchester clubs winning this weekend. So their battle for the top 3 continues. 3 points apart, although City have a game in hand. And Spurs, their race may be run. Losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. Ramona Petzelberger scoring late on, and they are now 7 points behind Manchester City. And they also have to play Chelsea twice between now and the end of the season. And they could yet decide who wins the title, because there is a North London derby against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium also to fit in. Home crowd looking to get behind their team here. Bright. Chelsea were 4 goals up by this stage last week against Leicester. Different sort of game here this evening. Kerr. Now Cuthbert. And of course, in their previous game here, they had to wait until the 92nd minute to beat Aston Villa, thanks to Sam Kerr. And the assist from the goalkeeper, Zukora Muskovic. Fleming. Now England. Eriksson. Bright, closed down by Rose. Neuven. Reading will have to pick and choose their moments to try and press. They could be under pressure here, but Bryson does well. Wrighton, challenged by Harding. Eriksson. Harding is there again. Harry's in pursuit. And she maybe took the ball in the face there from Neuven, so play will be halted. And to join the Atta Football community and access more women's football content, matches and highlights, don't forget to visit attafootball.com. Eriksson. And here is Neuven. This could be a real game of patience here for Chelsea. Reading are sat in, looking to contain. They've had a season which you can break down into 3 distinct groups. They lost their opening 4 games without scoring, then had a run of 7 wins and a draw, and now it's 6 games without a win. Kerr, back to Fleming. It was cut out well though by Cooper. And Deanna Cooper will be familiar with these surroundings, although she was on a treatment table for much of her time with Chelsea after suffering a serious ACL injury. Peplow. Now Rowe, one of a number of Welsh internationals in this Reading team, with Bristol City now in the 2nd tier. Reading are the closest WSL team to South Wales, certainly, heading to the west of England. Bryson. Now Harding. Peplow. Only 23 years of age, but she seems to have been around for a long time. Made her debut for Birmingham in the WSL at 16 and was a regular at that time in a decent side. Birmingham produced so many fine players over the years, and they were competing at the top end of the Women's Super League in its early stages, but they'll do well to avoid relegation now. Wrighton. Cooper's clearance. Wrighton again, blocked by Bryson. Bryson will clear. Engel. It was into Fleming, but Reading quickly had bodies around her. Neuven. And here is Bright. Was given the opportunity to show off her range of passing during the game against Leicester last week. Smartly done by Wrighton, but the cross again is beyond Kerr. It'll be recovered by Carter. Cuthbert onto that left foot, and she was nudged over right on the edge of the penalty area by Eichelund, and it will be a free kick. And we've seen Erin Cuthbert shuffle inside and produce a finish from there before, but Emily Eichelund ensured that wouldn't happen this time. Guro Wrighton scored a spectacular free kick from this sort of range at Leicester last week. What can she do here? Grace Maloney looking to cover all the angles. And it's Wrighton's curler low, and it took a deflection and it took the sting out of the shot. So it was comfortable for Maloney in the end. And it was Lily Woodham who just dangled out the leg. Beth England with 4 goals in her previous 2 games, and Emma Hayes in the build-up to this game has been talking about her improvement on the training ground and the application she's shown to force her way back into the starting lineup. Pernilla Harder and Fran Kirby still not involved in the first team picture at the moment. Kerr. Now Bright. Carter. England. And Bright has lost out. Good challenge. And here is Rose, encouraged to attack here by the Reading technical area, and she's doing just that. And she's in behind Carter. And in the end, the challenge comes in, and it's a goal kick. And Deanne Rose may be suffering from a lack of support there in field. But Jess Carter did well to initially catch her up and then make the challenge. Has been given time. Drilled by Bright, and a good header away by Evans. It'll be a good battle tonight between Gemma Evans and Beth England. There is Evans again. Bright. And as far as Peplow. Now Woodham. The ball was on to Rose down the left, but here is Peplow once again. Into Harries, now Rowe. And there the move breaks down, but Reading again showing that when they get the ball in this sort of area, they can cause problems. England, and she drew Evans out of the centre there. Here is Fleming. Very good defending by Cooper. Harries. Now it's long and high, looking for Rose, and she's offside. Again, it was a tight one. And Rose only just inside the Chelsea half. Chelsea with 11 wins and a draw here since they were last beaten at home by Brighton last season. 11 clean sheets in that time. And they're looking for their 7th successive clean sheet at home in the WSL this evening, which would be a competition record. And we've seen already they really have the appetite for goals, as the shot from Jessie Fleming is floated too high. Again, it's neat build-up, but Fleming underneath it. But Reading will be happy if Chelsea are restricted to efforts from that sort of range. Reading themselves have found goal scoring a problem this season, and they've given the ball away here. Here is England, and Cuthbert, and it's a good block by Evans. Here is Rose. Infield this time beyond Carter. Eikeland looking for support. Bryson eventually arrives, and quickly into Harries, who we know does have pace. And she's won the throw in, the challenge by Eriksson. Emma Harries has been part of the Reading Academy since the age of 8. And the back header will send the ball behind from Eriksson. And the game's first corner goes to Reading. Reading here. I've already tried something different from a set piece. And there's height, Peplow, Evans, and Harries. Tash Harding has always had very good delivery. bodies sprinkle around the penalty area. Short to Eikeland. Back now towards Harding. But the cross in is met by Eriksson. And Reading not really making the most of that. Chelsea with 70% of the possession, but only one shot on target so far. Bryson. It was flicked on by Harries. Here is Bryson now with a crossing opportunity, and she goes for goal. And it was claimed by Muskovic. And to say she would have been an unlikely goal scorer would be one of the understatements of the season, but she caught it well. Kelly Chambers is always a very good organiser of teams, and she has set up Reading here to try and contain and hit on the break, and so far they are doing it very effectively. Here is Neumann, and that's given away. Rose, Rowe ahead of her, and Cuthbert goes sprawling, and the free kick is given against Rose. And following the international break coming up, Chelsea will finish the season with at least an FA Cup semi-final here against Arsenal. Then they play Spurs twice at the Hive and then here. And then it's Birmingham away and a home game against Manchester United on the final day. And we could have an intriguing situation in that Chelsea need to win to take the title. United may need 3 points to guarantee Champions League football. That really is winner takes all. Here is Wrighton. Harding blocking the cross, but it's back towards Wrighton. And Cooper with the eventual clearance. Bright's ball forward is cut out by Eikeland. Harding. And Sam Kerr with 14 goals in 15 games. But she's not really had a chance so far in the game. 8 goals in 6 appearances. And a couple of very important ones as well. Peplow. Harding. And it's given away to England and quickly forward to Kerr. And Kerr allowed to turn on the edge of the penalty area. Excellent challenge coming in though to Rob Fleming. And again, Deanna Cooper showing that she does have that quality. And Harries is the sort of player who may just need one ball over the top, and her pace could really cause problems. Last season, of course, Reading had the quality of Jess Fishlock in their team. She's now gone back to Seattle. Long for Rowe and claimed by Muskovic. And with a player like Fishlock in the side, there could often be a reliance on her, but now she's unavailable. A number of players have had to really step up this season. Fleming. Reading already have the same number of points than they achieved in the whole of the previous campaign. They will finish at home to West Ham, away to Leicester, and then at home to Manchester City. So they will also have a say in the Champions League race. Ingle. Wrighton. And again, the cross is way too deep. Chelsea's crossing was superb last week. England and Kerr both scoring headers. And Rajan, of course, also scored 2 goals. Lauren James scored her first for the club, but not involved tonight. Alongside Pernilla Harder there to her right. Well, it's a chilly evening. We are now in British summertime, but it's been a very cold week. Both these teams had to contend with snow during training earlier this week, which is a rarity for the start of April, even in this country. Now Carter. It's blocked by Evans. Carter going down, but quickly recovering her footing. Kerr's delivery cleared away as far as Ingle. Eriksson's cross, and the header is over the top from England. Sam Kerr pulling into the wide area. Evans dealt with the initial cross, but then she'd rather lost England inside the penalty area. And she had to really stoop to generate the power. Maloney clears. Now Cuthbert. Chelsea beginning to take a grip on the game once again. Brighton. And Reading will already be thinking about getting to half-time here. Some may have set on their hopes of finishing around the contenders at the top of the table, but they could still do some real damage here to Chelsea's title challenge. Neuven. She's carried forward. Here is Cuthbert. Eriksson. And Chelsea still have possession, up over 70%, but only 4 shots in the game so far. One of those on target. Much of their attacking threat is coming down the left with Guro Reiten and Jessie Fleming. 54% of their attacks are generated from that side of the field as Cooper clatters the ball into Harding and is eventually able to recover. Eriksson hurling the ball in. It was deflected behind by Bryson. It will be a corner. Chelsea's first. Millie Bright is forward, yet to score this season. And she stopped Arsenal inside that penalty area. England, sharp header, but well held by Maloney. And again, it's that movement from England. And it was Eikeland this time who just lost her inside the area. Rose in pursuit. Carter's back pass. Muskovic able to clear, but it's quickly returned by Evans. Peplow. Woodham. And it's behind Rose. But Reading working hard to win the ball back. Woodham again. Bright stepping in before Rose. Muskovic will clear. And Sam Kerr continues to be on the fringes of the game so far. But she knows if she bides her time, the chances will come. And that low sun can often cause issue for teams in early evening kickoffs at this time of year. Oh, there's a mistake. Here is England. Beth England around the goalkeeper, driven wide herself. And in the end, the cross doesn't pick out a teammate. And that's an escape for Reading. But here is Cuthbert. And now Wrighton. That's a brilliant challenge inside the area. Now Eriksson. Again, it was Deanna Cooper really putting her body on the line. England. And Evans was caught by England. Here is Carter. And she runs into Peplow. Fleming. Bright with the cross. Here is Cuthbert. And again, Reading getting bodies in the way. Wrighton. Here is England. And again, brilliant defending by Reading. It was Natasha Harding who came across. Chelsea had so many chances there. England thumping the ball in eventually, and it was Natasha Harding who came across. This was the earlier opportunity. The slip by Deanna Cooper. England driven wide by the cross. Cuthbert with the corner, headed down and then hammered away by Bryson.
Run early, get set early. Organise D, Cooper, shoulders D.
And Reading have not drawn here since 2017 when they were 2 goals up. Farrah Williams and Brooke Chaplin, who is currently unavailable due to a serious illness. We wish her well. They put Reading 2 up before a late comeback capped by a Frank Kirby equaliser. Usually they're on the end of 1 or 2 beatings here. Chelsea clinched the title against them last season. Rose now trying her luck on the right. Bright. Neuven. And from Reading's point of view, it is very important for them to get to the break on level terms now, having worked so hard to find themselves in this position. Kelly Chambers is really micromanaging on the edge of the technical area. But here is Cuthbert. Space for Wrighton. The cross looking for England. She wins the header and it's controlled by Fleming. And Chelsea finally have their goal. And it's the Canadian Jessie Fleming. And there'll be some relief amongst those celebrations. Reading unable to cope this time. Bryson was rather pulled towards the ball. There was space for Gura Wrighton to cross, and when Reading failed to deal with that, Jessie Fleming had time to bring the ball down and dispatch beyond that unsighted goalkeeper. It's her 6th goal of the season. She rounded off the 9-0 last week, and she scored the opening goal here. former UCLA player, scoring a significant goal at the top of the WSL. A win for Chelsea, and they'll be back on top. And Emma Hayes has seen her side really have to labour in pursuit of that goal, but now it's finally arrived. Things may relax. The opening goal was quickly followed by 3 others last week, but it may be a different sort of game here. So there is the current table. Chelsea with a better goal difference than Arsenal, and a point clear as well if it stays like this. And Arsenal will be hoping that Chelsea slip up somewhere, and they do have a tough run in with 2 games against Spurs and Manchester United. But here is Cuthbert, and it's comfortable for Maloney. And Chelsea really hunting in packs when they have their confidence high, as it is at the moment. Rose. Now Rowe. Rose is often running down the left, but Rowe can't find her. Really Bright will take it. It's met by Evans. Now Bryson. Oh, and here's an opportunity for Rowe. Winning the ball from Neuven, and it's Rowe's shot which is too high, and she had players in support. And Neuven clattering the ball into Rowe. Rose to her left may have been the better option. Harries was also in space down the centre. And Kelly Chambers' half-time team talk may have a different tone now. Peplow. Woodham. All the way back to Maloney. England closing her down. There was a bit of fade on the clearance, but here is Eikeland. Harries. Chelsea throw. And Emma Harries is just having words here with Emily Heaslip, the referee. Sophie Ingle up against a number of familiar faces here today. A Welsh international. And she's talking to an international teammate there, Rachel Rowe. Bright. Now Carter. Chelsea with 11 shots so far in the game. 4 of those on target. Reading with just the 2, and the shot from Faye Bryson was on target. And Chelsea with 21 touches inside the opposition penalty area. Reading have had 2. Good covering though by Gemma Evans there. And she knows that the title race will have 1 or 2 twists and turns still to come. England. We're into a single minute of added time. England again winning the ball deep inside the penalty area, and it's pulled back. There's a missed kick from Kerr, Now Engel. And it's struck by Bright. And her wait for her first goal of the season goes on. Jessie Fleming with the games. Big moment so far. Really good technique to give herself the time with the chest trap. And then the half volley. And that's half time. And Chelsea doing what they have to do thanks to the Canadian international Jessie Fleming. They had to wait a long time for the goal, but Fleming has settled the nerves here and at the moment has put Chelsea back on top of the Women's Super League. At half-time, it is Chelsea 1, Reading 0. And welcome back to Kingsmeadow at half-time. Reading trailing Chelsea by a goal to nil. Emma Hayes' team heading back to the top of the table thanks to Jessie Fleming's strike 5 minutes before half-time. And it was frustrating at times during the first half for the champions, but they finally got their goal. And of course, they don't concede too many here. Don't concede too many anyway. Fleming, a player who has had a very good season after a very good summer, winning the Olympic gold medal. Kelly Chambers will keep her team organised and hope that they can stay in the game for as long as possible. And if it's still 1-0 in the closing stages, then there is the opportunity to maybe try and show more attacking ambition, although they did have 3 players prominent when they were looking to get the ball forward at times. Games to go following this one. Kelly Chambers will be hoping that they can end their losing streak fairly soon. Chelsea get the second half underway. 45 minutes away from maintaining their lead at the top of the WSL. And here is Wrighton right at the start of the second half. Excellent challenge though by Bryson. Now Eriksson. And it's all the way back to Muskovic. Eriksson again. Bright. And Reading do have attacking options on the bench. Natasha Dowie, their leading goal scorer, is prominent in those. And the youngster Tia Primer is somebody at the other end of their career who has scored in the Women's Super League recently. Got the winning goal the last time Reading won a match in the competition at Everton. Carter was pulled back by Woodham. It will be a free kick. Lily Woodham, one of the younger players in this Reading team. But it's a side with plenty of experience. Although they do tend to shop in a slightly different area to Chelsea at times, as England is quickly closed down but wins the corner. And Again, it was Deanna Cooper, a player who has had an excellent game on her return to Kingsmeadow.
First and seconds, come on. Come on.
Kerr makes the move towards the near post. It's beyond her. It's Ingle with the controlled volley, and somehow it is scrambled behind by Harding. Well, one Welsh international denied by another. Ingle guiding the ball towards goal, and Harding seeing it skip between her legs, and it may have just glanced the outside of the post. Sophie Ingle yet to score this season. Goals are not really her game. Brighton's ball in, looking for England. Now Cuthbert twisting and turning away from Rose. It's high again. Chelsea still have players forward, and it's Bright who was looking to fire the shot towards goal. Here is Kerr. Kerr's cross is deep, just over the head of England. Now Cuthbert. Incessant pressure right at the start of the second half. And it's cleared by Rose in the end. Eriksson, helped on by England. Now Cuthbert. Again, it was Cooper just preventing the shot towards goal, and Fleming is penalised for handball. Early from Maloney. And it will skip all the way through to Muskovic. Now Bright. And Evans stepping in. And when Chelsea have scored the opening goal this season, they have gone on to win all 13 of their WSL matches. Emma Hayes' team do have that ruthless streak, and they showed that last week. And they knew that a match against Leicester was an opportunity to turn around the goal difference deficit they had with Arsenal. And they did just that. And Beth England proved to be the all-round centre forward that day. Here she is now. Slipped through towards Kerr, but Evans is able to clear. Fleming. Back in field again towards Cuthbert. Ingle on the stretch, and the cross evading Kerr at the far post. And at the moment it seems a question of when rather than if there will be a second goal here. Ingle almost diverting the ball towards Kerr.
Come on, get around the seconds. Gamble.
Maloney's clearance.
Come on out,
Eriksson clattering into Bryson, and the Chelsea captain may have come off worse there. Bryson just coming across to block the run, and there was clear contact, but no real intent. Striking Rose on the shoulder, it will be a throw into Chelsea, and Reading are finding it difficult to maintain possession anywhere on the field at the moment. Peplo. There's a slip there for Bryson. Here is England. Brighton's cross. England! Oh, that's brilliant. Bethany England surely seals the points for Chelsea. And that could go down as one of the goals of the season. The hot streak continues. The clearance from Bryson, her slip, allowing England to start the move wide towards Bryson, and then the volley. That is outstanding technique. England with the purpose to win the ball back, and then more cold-eyed finishing. And you will not see a better goal anywhere this weekend. And that will surely be on the shortlist for the goal of the season in the Women's Super League. England passed 50 goals in the Women's Super League earlier this season. And she scored in successive games in this competition for the first time in a year. There have been times where she's been on the sidelines behind Fran Kirby and Pernilla Harder. But at the moment, she is in possession. Now Rose. Cleared by Engel. And the downward header from England. Reading were looking for the free kick there, following the challenge from Engel, but nothing was given. Harding, though, wins it back. And there's a coming together of the two captains as Eriksson slides in to win it back. And there she is again. Emily Heaslip is just coming across to this near side, and the yellow card is up for the first time this evening, and it's for Kelly Chambers, the Reading manager. Well, clearly something was said. And Kelly Chambers is continuing to have her say. The challenge here, which has clearly angered the Reading manager. Michaeland was taken down, no free kick was given. And the talking is continuing. And the point that Kelly Chambers seemed to be making was that challenges like that are possibly being awarded as fouls on the other side of the ball, and that's up for debate, but returned her a yellow card, whatever anyone else thinks. Brighton. Now Fleming. She's given the room to turn.
No fouls.
Eriksson.
Cross his arm. Stop, cross his arm. Well done.
Eriksson almost losing her bearings, but in the end, Chelsea have the throw-in.
That one good. That one was good.
And Reading are making changes. Sana Trilsgaard, the Danish international, will be coming on. There's Emma Harries, who is going off. She's found it difficult to get into the game in the second half. And Reading need more of a presence in midfield. Trilsgaard moving from Rosengard in Sweden back in December. Chelsea So they have the possibility here against tiring opponents of just taking their goal difference away from Arsenal once again. Moskovic has barely seen the ball in the second half. Now Neuven. And this would be 2 points in 7 games for Reading after 7 wins out of 8. Wrighton. Cuthbert. Quite appreciating her pirouette. Carter. And Cuthbert again, and it's wide. Aaron Cuthbert has been perpetual motion in this game. And she so often creates opportunities by sheer force of will. Back to Moskovic. Neuven, Chelsea are lacking a number of big names from the squad today. Of course, Marie Leupolz has been unavailable for some time. There's no Ji So-yeon. Lauren James, as we saw in the first half, is another striker on the sidelines. But those who have come in have really risen to the challenge set them by Emma Hayes. Samker, of course, is always first on the team sheet. But Beth England is outshining her for goals in recent times. Carter will take the throw in. A look of calm on the Chelsea bench. There'll be no clean sweep for them this season after Manchester City beat them in the WSL Cup final, and the Champions League was a real disappointment, failing to leave the group stage. But they could be on course for another league and cup double, although Arsenal will have a say in the semi-final here in a few weeks' time. Eriksson. A touch from Harding. Bryson. And here is Trulsgaard, but she just runs out of room. Trulsgaard, a player of immense experience. Here she is again, but she's given the ball away to Wrighton. Kelly Chambers showing signs of agitation as the game has gone against her team. Take points off a side like Chelsea, everything has to be right, and Reading have just found it difficult on a couple of moments so far, and that could be costly. Now Rowe, and the cross-in was behind Rose. England, who has celebrated her return to the England squad in fine style. Bryson. will have the throw-in. It was just lost out, and Cuthbert can move the ball forward again, and there's space and time here for Carter with Kerr on her outside. Fleming waits in the centre. Ingle. Kerr's cross. Volleyed away by Trollsgaard. And volleyed back by Cuthbert. And it's just wide. Crossing again from Sam Kerr, who was spending plenty of time in this game in the wide areas as Chelsea look to stretch Reading. Up against three central defenders, it's often difficult to find the space around the penalty area. Oliver's touch, almost releasing Rose. Now Trollsgaard. Bryson in behind for Rose to chase once again. Eriksson, though, comes across, and once again the bounce of the ball is favouring Chelsea. And to join the Atta Football community and access more women's football content, matches and highlights, don't forget to visit attafootball.com. The game has really slowed in tempo now since the second goal. Chelsea, of course, have so many big games still to come. And they will have players heading off around the world for the international break over the next 2 weeks or so. They will reconvene for the FA Cup semi-final over the Easter weekend in 2 weeks' time. The WSL will next be back in action over the final weekend in April. Woodham wins it back, but just carries the ball out of play. Harding. Now there could be a problem here. It's Wrighton, she's in, she's got Kerr in support, and she makes it 3. And if you give Chelsea that sort of opportunity, players like Sam Kerr will always capitalise. Faye Bryson played into trouble once again. Receiving the ball from Harding, and it was that first touch which allowed Wrighton to burst into the penalty area, and Sam Kerr's first clear-cut chance of the evening ends up in the back of the net. 37 goals in 42 WSL games. It's an incredible strike rate. Yet another assist for Guro Wrighton. Kerr with her 15th WSL goal of the season in 16 games. And she has scored now in 7 successive WSL matches, which is a Chelsea record. Guro Wrighton is so sharp in that sort of situation. Trollsgaard is closing down Eriksson. Michael showing her frustration. In fact, it was Peplo, my apologies. And the game has rather unravelled for Reading here, after they were very good for much of the first half. But normal service has now been resumed. Eriksson. Chelsea have given the ball away. Rowe poking it forward, and Rose will try and get there, but Moskovic was able to swoop on it and may be grateful to have something to do. The Reading have averaged barely over a goal a game so far this season. They did jump from the bottom place to 5th with that winning streak mid-season, but now they are back in 8th. They are a team who just find it difficult to string results together, as Kerr is flagged offside. Reading are a club who have often spoken about trying to qualify for the Champions League, and when they were winning games consistently earlier this season, there was a prospect of doing that, but they are at risk of finishing the season as they started it. Woodham. Here is Carter. Chelsea do have an 18-year-old striker, Emma Thompson, on the bench. And there's the possibility of a WSL debut for her now. Kerr. Cut out by Harding. Kelly Chambers heading for her 9th defeat against Chelsea as Reading manager. And Reading really enjoyed their victory over the champions back in December, but it's the same old story here. And they'll believe that one or two of the goals have been self-inflicted, particularly the third one. Deanne Rose is without doubt a quality player, but she's been starved of service here. A player who was in the Canadian national team at the age of 16. Kelly Chambers will be hoping they are able to keep hold of her. Bryson's clearance thudding into Kerr, but she's able to recover this time. Now Neumann. And the question is, who can stop Chelsea? Arsenal will be desperately hoping that their North London rivals Tottenham can do them a favour. Both of Chelsea's next games in the WSL are against Spurs, although Tottenham are now showing signs of weariness themselves, failing to score for 3 successive WSL games. For the first time, losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa earlier on today. Natasha Dowie still waiting for her opportunity on the bench for Reading. may come down to that match against Manchester United here. And both teams may need victory to achieve their ambitions. Here is Rose. And Muscovich did well to get there first. And that's the sort of ball she's been looking for all evening. Delivered by Trollsgaard. Deanne Rose, an Olympic gold medalist, has found herself watching other world-class players performing at the other end of the field here for much of the game, but here she is now. A support from Trollsgaard. May look to win a corner, but it could break for Trollsgaard, but Chelsea now will bring it clear. Cuthbert, Carter. England will draw Evans out of the centre, but that's a very good challenge. Now Neuven. Cuthbert. Chelsea heading to that Women's Super League record of 7 successive home games without conceding. In goal. Kerr was on the move, but it's claimed by Maloney. And Jonna Andersson, the Swedish international, will be coming on shortly for Chelsea. Eriksson winning the header. Now Fleming. And Woodin was able to play in Rose once again. And Deanne Rose needs support. Now has it from Rowe. But the crossing, though, will be cleared by Eriksson. And as Reading do push bodies forward, it's all the way back towards Muscovich again. If Reading do commit players forward in an attack, they will be very, very vulnerable to Chelsea's quality on the breakaway. Mara Mjelde will also be coming on as she continues her comeback from a long-term injury. And Drew Spence is also preparing to enter the fray.
Yeah, but I gotta give him a charge quickly.
Mjelde, a Norwegian international. Andersson, a Swedish international. There are international players wherever you look in the Chelsea team. Bright. England. Now Ingle. Wrighton. Another high cross in, and there's the header wide from England. Well, they knew what was coming, but Reading were fairly powerless to stop it. Ingle releasing Wrighton again, and Bryson finding it difficult to get tight to her. And England again winning the ball in the air, but it was off target this time. Chelsea now with 21 attempts on goal, 6 on target, 76% possession. Now Cuthbert, low in to Kerr, her second, Chelsea's fourth, and yet again It is emphatic. 16 goals in 16 games for Sam Kerr. And Reading capitulating on this near side once again. Cuthbert released by Wrighton. And if you give Sam Kerr that sort of service, she usually finds the back of the net. And yet again, she is on a hat-trick in the Women's Super League. Well, she averaged almost a goal a game in the WSL last season, Sam Kerr, and she's back on course for that again. Annick Neuven is the first player to make way for Mara Mjelde. And Neve Charles will come off, or rather come on, and Jess Carter goes off. And Jonna Andersson replacing Guro Reiten, who's had a very good evening. No goals tonight, but a couple of very handy assists. And Tash Harding is making way for Reading. And Tia Primer, the teenager, comes on. And further damage limitation is now Reading's best hope in this game. Kerr. Now Cuthbert. In goal. Chelsea here are relentless once again. They know it could come down to goal difference, and every goal matters. Fleming. Eriksson losing out this time. Jonna Andersson, another player who has been on the sidelines for much of the season, but every Chelsea player knows there is a role to play here. Trollsgaard. Chelsea have it back with Bright. Charles. Now Cuthbert. And the corner kick almost conceded by Rachel Rowe, but it's a throw-in. And Reading just need the final whistle here, but there's still 10 minutes to play, and it's a very dangerous time for them.
Substitution for Chelsea coming off the field at the 17th.
Alsu Abdelina, the Russian international, now coming on to replace Jessie Fleming. Abdelina signed from Lokomotiv Moscow. Erin Cuthbert has also worked hard this evening. And it's Drew Spence who comes on to replace her. So Drew Spence, another player who has to bide her times on the sidelines, but never lets Chelsea down. England was not giving that one up, but it's claimed by Maloney. Woodham. And Primer looking to make an impact, but should be penalised for the challenge. Scored the winning goal at Everton in Reading's most recent victory. They have been swept aside here this evening. Eventually, the goal just before half-time really changed the course of the game, and Chelsea have been all over them since. Evans with the clearance. Kelly Chambers, like so many other managers in the Women's Super League, we've seen her team overwhelmed by world-class players, and it's always the difficulty. Reading were able to score the only goal and then defend resolutely back in December, but it's very difficult to do that twice in a season, as Bryson is penalised there. Mjelde. No, Abdelina. Anderson. Sam Kerr will be keen to complete her fourth WSL hat-trick for Chelsea in the closing stages, given the opportunity. Now Rose at the other end. Eriksson will be more preoccupied with keeping a clean sheet. Good ball in from Rose, but there was nobody else anywhere near her. And that shake of the head really tells you all you need to know. Electric pace from her, but there was nobody else anywhere near the penalty area in a Reading shirt. Eriksson will take the free kick. And there are members of the Atlanta Chelsea Supporters Club here this evening watching the game. And I believe it's been worth the trip. Chelsea come forward again here. The cross-in is cleared away by Rowe. Chelsea do have a worldwide support, and the fans here from Georgia have seen Sam Kerr propel their side closer towards the 5th title in 7 years. Kerr's numbers are absolutely staggering. Only someone like Vivian Miedema can really match her for the pace at which she scores her goals in the Women's Super League. Emma Hayes has barely had to move in the second half, such has been the control her team have enjoyed. Helped forward by Engel. Engel again.
Come on, Sane! Come on, Sane! Good
upright. Anderson, now Spence. Rose winning it back with the help of Ekelund. But again, she was looking up and there was no real support for her. Anderson. And on a day when we've seen Lyon take a firm grip of the French title race in France, Chelsea are matching Arsenal here. And that's all they need to do at the top of the table. Chelsea did once blow a championship on the final day when they lost at Manchester City, and Liverpool pipped them for the league. And there may have to be similar drama here when Manchester United visit. But of course, Chelsea beat them 6-1 earlier this season. Now it's won back by Peplo. Chelsea always seem to have players around the ball. Dean Rose is a player who has never hidden, always offering some sort of option for her players, but Emma Hayes' team have done a very good job of just ensuring she's isolated for virtually the whole game. Mjelde, and she's been caught by Rose, and as we enter the 90th minute, the Chelsea fans, who have been in great voice all evening, acclaiming their team. England in for Kerr again. Maloney able to clear. And then long again from the Reading goalkeeper. Spence working hard to win it back. That really is her game. And Mjelde all the way back towards Muskovic. Spence, now Anderson, a minimum of 3 more minutes. Anderson back to Spence again. Just happy to lift the ball away. Anderson. Now Abdelina. Kerr. Spence. England. Was she fouled? She was. It's a penalty. And again, it's Faye Bryson who was involved. And right at the end, Chelsea have the opportunity to make it 5. And Bryson on the stretch, lunging in and catching England. And Sam Kerr is passing up the opportunity to score the hat-trick goal. Instead, it has been left for Beth England. Emily Heaslip just warning Grace Maloney to stay on the line. England to make it 5-0, which she does. And on a day when Arsenal enjoyed a 5-goal victory, Chelsea match them and say, catch us if you can. England. Scoring twice for Chelsea for the third successive game. And it's been a rout. Beth England really coming into form ahead of the international break. And she will hope to be part of the England squad moving forward towards the Euros. Two for England, two for Kerr. And that spells real trouble for the rest of the Women's Super League. Flag's up for offside, but it barely matters. There goes the final whistle. Beth England, the star for Chelsea, as they pile on the goals once again. Emma Hayes seeing her team move back on top of the Women's Super League after Arsenal's big win earlier in the day. Sam Kerr scoring twice. And yet again, Emma Hayes seeing her star-studded team be much too good. The question is, can they keep going? And can they clinch the title yet again? No problems tonight, full time. Chelsea 5, Reading 0.